So, over the past couple centuries, there's been a boom in the human player base on Earth, and with the rise of digital media, the last couple years have seen the rise of strategy guides for many classes on how to best play. Chances are, if you're watching this, you've already chosen your character and know the basic gameplay, but perhaps you're unfamiliar with the underlying mechanisms of the game. Though there are already some truly great videos out there on the development history of the game, the lore, and even how to run your own servers, there hasn't been much in the way of explanation as to what goes on under the surface. The most common problem I see is a lack of understanding about how much variety there is in the player base. The game is presently run from 3 separate sites, and your choice of characters will depend on which domain you log in through. The oldest of these sites is archaea.com. Originally, the game was played about thermal vents, as these were the best energy source provided for systems, and all systems were water-cooled. Later, a second domain was made available, bacteria.io. Logging in from either site will provide a player with more character options than we presently know. However, both are typically restricted to single-celled characters, though the variety in playstyles varies a lot, since Earth supports infinite microenvironments for them to play in, including inside other bacteria players. The final domain is eukaryote.net. I'm going to assume that anyone watching this logged in through this site and picked the kingdom Animalia. Simply put, if you haven't chosen your character this way, I don't know how you're even seeing this. Speaking of character selection, upon logging in through any one domain, you'll be offered 4 different means with which to do so. The first is a list of those player types which are most popular at present, and whilst you can filter these results by type, you should really be careful with this method. It's tailored to whichever server you're playing on, so for example, if I try to create a new character on my present server and filter to the most popular mammals, it's going to suggest I try and create one with a sheep. The second tab is entirely based on searching for specific traits you want to play with. Do you want wings? You can play as bats, birds, and insects. Do you want to be single-celled? Here you go, a selection of protists and yeasts. It's better to search for multiple traits at once, since even a specific search can yield a lot of results. For example, typing frog will net you almost 5,000 results just for frogs and toads, plus any species with frog in the name, like the almost 50 species of frogfish. More advanced players might want to search for specific characters using the binomial search, a feature which was implemented upon suggestion by user L1753. Each character has a specific 2-word tag with which you can identify them across any server and in all in-game languages. However, be careful as they're not yet fully implemented, and the devs are constantly changing them around. The final means to select a character is the random select button. Newer players should avoid this at all costs. It's wise to read up on your favourite characters before playing them, as there is a lot of gameplay variety on Earth, and starting as a complete unknown should only be done by the most experienced of players. Ultimately, you want to reduce the randomness of your character choice as much as possible, since the game will provide many of your character traits by RNG. A lot of players think it's unfair that so many traits are selected for you, and that you don't get a choice in your starting conditions. And though I will save the topic of grinding for another video, I should say that random attributes can be overcome by higher intelligence builds and those with a longer lifespan. However, a variety of respawn times and in-game challenges mean that Earth can provide compelling gameplay which covers many different genres, including RTS and roguelike. This was just a basic overview of character creation for Life on Earth, but I hope you'll stick around for future videos on mechanics such as modding, achievements, and how to play as and avoid viruses. See you next time.